did it. Yay. Okay, cool. Oh, so you want us to look at that camera as well? So we're going to have to look at both cameras. You just kind of like flick your eyes between the two. No, just the YouTube one.
I know chameleon eye.
So we're just like, forget Instagram. You guys are... Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. It's safer.
You want to get side eye.
Right, just the whole time. But it's super exciting. Thank you guys for joining us. So I'm Chelsea with Modus AV. So if you're watching us, that's who I am. I'm here today with our friend, Ben. Yes. Ben, would you like to do a little intro?
Yeah, I'll try and keep it as short as possible. So the last one we did was just like war and peace. So I'm Ben. I'm the product training manager for KEF out here in Marlborough, New Jersey. With KEF for 7 years as of yesterday.
Yes, happy KEF birthday.
Thank you very much. I had no grey hairs beforehand. It's great. My job is basically training, do a little bit of product management stuff as well, and really happy to be here. Lovely to have Chelsea and Jared from Modus over.
Yeah, we're super excited. We love coming up here. You guys are awesome. You make awesome products. And we're kind of excited to talk to you about really two main things today. The first being the exciting new line of subwoofers. Wow. I hit you guys with my Vanna White. Like, wow, very nice. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the differences between the R series and the reference series, because that causes quite a bit of confusion for most people. And we'll get into it. But,
oh yeah, confusion until people hear them.
That's fair. That's very true. All right, so guys, at the end of the stream, so like maybe with 5 minutes left, we're gonna open the chat up. So if you have any questions for Ben or myself, feel free to put them in the chat and we will try to answer them to the best of our abilities.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, Ben. So first things first, what inspired the development of KEF's new line of subwoofers?
Yeah, so we've done a lot of advances recently on sort of our main product lines. Obviously, the LS50 became the LS50 Meta. The R series had a revamp to our Meta. So you've got the new Blaze and the new Reference. Right. And we wanted to bring our subwoofer offerings up to that level as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so subwoofers are complementary products. They work with loudspeakers. And we're looking for subwoofers that are really going to extend the performance of the system down, sort of take what you loved about the main system and bring that performance into a lower frequency band. So yeah, it was really just sort of helping them sort of come up and catch up with what we've done with the rest of the line.
Awesome. There's also been some exciting things going on, like stacking. Can you tell us a little bit about stacking?
Yeah, 100%. I'm really excited about this, actually. So the new KC92s we've got here, they have been designed with stacking in mind. Right. I mean, a single KC92 on its own, fantastic, great performer, wonderfully accurate. But if you want to take things even further, then stacking is a great way of doing things. Yeah. Because when you go from one subwoofer and you stack up, add like a second, so you go to two, you're getting an extra 6 dB of output, which is kind of like double the output. It's a big, big stretch. And then going from 1 to 3, it's a plus 9.5. Again, big, big leap. And so you get significant more SPL, significant more output. But the really cool thing is, rather than going for sheer output, because, are you necessarily want to do like 120 dB? Maybe not. But what you can do is you can run each subwoofer separately at a lower volume, because they're going to naturally combine. And that's actually going to elevate the performance, because they're basically turning into one big subwoofer. You're pushing each subwoofer less, but you're pushing the performance further.
That's really cool.
So it's really modular, so you can build up the performance over time as life allows.
Yeah.
So really easy to do, and looks great. You get more performance, more output, without losing floor space.
Yeah. You're going up instead of out.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Can you describe some of the key features and technological advancements incorporated into the new subwoofer line, like the Cube 15 MIE? Can we talk kind of about like new portion to.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the 15, we haven't done a 15 for probably about 15 years, actually. So it's really exciting just to see that as an addition to the line. Love having nice big sub. I've got 4 in the theater next door.
Nice.
And they boom when they need to.
Yeah.
You know, they hit down and deep, but they're also really clean.
They are.
Like, they don't have that typical 15 grunginess that can happen. So things like a kettle drum sounds like a kettle drum,
Yes.
but you still have that impact when, you know, A Quiet Place Part 2, you've got Alien going all over the place, smashing into stuff. Sounds great. But the MIE part, that's a really, really cool part. And this is something that's been improved over not just the Cube MIE now range, but also in the KC92. So we're a vertically integrated manufacturer. We do practically everything that we can in-house.
Right.
So with DSP, typically, you know, you get a DSP chair, there's a software package, and you can drag and drop features in, change around the parameters a little bit. But it's a very generic thing. I mean, the DSP chip manufacturer has got no idea what product it's going to go into.
Right.
Now, because we designed and build everything ourselves, then we intimately know those components. We intimately know how they all work together. So the music integrity engine is our bespoke, in-house designed and written digital signal processing algorithms.
Yeah.
So they are written specifically for, so like the Cube8 MIE has its own DSP code written from scratch.
That's super
The
cool.
10 has its own, the 12 has its own, the 15, the KC92. And the idea is to take an already fantastic acoustic foundation and just bring it up just that little bit more, get them kind of like slotting together, working together. It's a little bit of fairy dust sprinkled on the end to take that performance to the next level.
Yeah. I love it. I really enjoy the new line of subwoofers. Like, I got to experience the quad stacked Q15 MIEs, and like Ben was saying, with the Quiet Place 2 opening, it rocked my actual socks. I could feel the bass through the seat. I was like telling Jared, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. I need this at home. I don't have the space for it, but I want it.
You absolutely have the space for it. Got to say about a round peg in a square hole.
Listen, I'll just sleep on top of them, so we'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
Use them as an ottoman. You know, put something over, just feet up.
Might be onto something. Might be onto something.
Audio furniture.
Maybe that's where you guys could delve into next.
Maybe so.
All right, Ben. So, are there any new connectivity options for the subwoofer line?
So we have got the same connectivity option that we had before, but it's a very, very wide-ranging set of connections. Now, we wanted these products to be able to integrate into practically any system you can think of. And so the first one, obviously, RCA inputs, common all the way around.
Yep.
Got left and right inputs. But a really interesting feature that we have with the RCA is what's called Smart Connect. So typically what happens if you don't have like a dedicated LFE input on a sub, you may need to, but you've only got LFE coming in, you may need to use like a Y adapter to engage the amplifier fully. But imagine, you know, you've just bought the subwoofer, it's just been delivered. You know, you've unboxed it, you get it in, you're not getting the level of output that you're expecting. So you realize, oh yeah, I don't have a Y adapter. That kind of sucks.
It does.
So, so what Smart Connect does is we actually detect whether you're using a single cable in or 2 cables in. If you're using a single cable in, we will actually just bump up the voltage a little bit.
Okay.
So it's the same as if you were using that Y adapter, so you don't need to worry about that. Effectively, it's plug and play in every sense of the word. We have speaker level input as well. So if you have legacy equipment that doesn't have subwoofer outputs, or if you just prefer to run speaker level input, then absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're fully balanced, you just wire it just as you would a main loudspeaker, left and right, positive, negative to the corresponding on the little Molex connector.
Easy.
It is really easy, and great if you have to run like sort of like long runs as well. And then finally, we do have a wireless adapter kit called the KW1. So if you want a bit more flexibility in placement, we do have this kit. You've got a transmitter, receiver. I think you can run, I've had 4 receivers running off of 1 transmitter.
Wow.
So if you want to do like 4 subs, like home theater, LFE around the room, you can do that quite happily. You do not see the receiver when it's actually installed on the sub. It's hidden by the rest of the sub. And just really nice and easy to set up, and just sounds great.
Awesome. Isn't that what everybody wants? Like something that's easy to set up, not overly complicated.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, me included.
Yes.
You know, it's you know, when I got something new to test or something, I just want to get it just set up nice and easy. I want to spend more time listening to it than setting it up and reading the manual.
Yeah, because that just, in my opinion, it detracts from the overall experience. Like now I'm delayed my gratification and my excitement of getting this new product. So, yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the R series versus the reference series. So, what are the primary design and engineering differences between the R series and the reference series speakers?
Well, so, I mean, yeah, the drivers look pretty similar, but it's once you get kind of like under the hood. You know, you pop the trunk, what's underneath is completely different. So our series, for the price point, great cabinet design, great port design, drivers, wonderful, fantastic UniQ that trickles a lot of technology down from Blade and Reference, but not everything. Yeah, so there's a lot of value in our series.
Okay.
Still very, very high value for money proposition, but for those people that are really wanting those extra bits of detail, sort of like really starting to uncover even more of the music, Reference gives you that tonality that our series has, but it just gives you more.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how ranges should work. I mean, as you move up the ranges, you shouldn't lose anything that you loved about the range before. You just get more of it as you go up. So it just starts sounding more real. That's really the only way I can kind of put it. And that's really in the design of everything. You know, we're taking if you take what our series is doing, Reference just builds upon that so much more. It's a much more substantial cabinet. That front baffle, so instead of being like a MDF front baffle like on the R series, it's aluminum. Sorry, from the UK. It froze me. Aluminium.
I like that better, truthfully. It sounds cooler.
There's an aluminium paper resin front baffle, which just creates this really nice foundation for the bass drivers to work from. Because those bass drivers, they look really similar to the ones in our series.
They do.
But in terms of the motor system, the throw that they're able to produce, just sheer amounts of power and grit that they're able to basically throw out there, they need a solid foundation. Okay. And that front baffle, much more than just a nice looking piece, it is absolute key to that power to being unleashed. The UniQ itself, I mean, first things first, the mid-range on it, big Neo magnet, the Reference UniQ, just power in spades, absolute power in spades. But that's what allows it to become so much more detailed and recreate all those nuances. So as you're going up, you're hearing more how something is being played.
Okay.
So how the pianist is working their way around the keyboard. How is the guitarist? It's not just are they finger picking or are they using a plectrum. It's how are they going in? Are they using fingernail? How hard are they going in? It's all those things that make it less listening to a recording, much more experiencing a performance. That's what you gain as you start moving up, and that's all in the engineering.
Super awesome. So R does not stand for like mini reference.
R begins with reference. Let's say reference. We did R series after reference, so it was taking a lot of the ideas of reference and trying to create a product that would give people a real good taste of what reference is capable of, but bring it into more homes.
Okay, so would you say that the R series kind of bridges the gap between like the reference and the Q series? Like R would be in the middle, or are those just very separate?
Yeah, it's very much like a good, better, best. As I say, as we move up, we're just gaining more and more as we go up. So Q series, great, fantastic, wonderful value.
Yeah.
R series, we start stepping into freeway designs. And we got that Dapolito array going on with the base drivers above and below the UniQ. And then reference takes what R series is doing to a complete other level. And obviously there's Blade. It's like good, better, best, besterer. So yeah, I mean, there is an absolute DNA that runs through all the ranges, and it's just building, building, building.
Yeah.
The goal is always the same: to try and get as close to the recording as possible, to step out of the way as much as possible. So everything we do as we move up through the ranges is to step out of the way more.
Right.
So it is just getting closer.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I feel like that is going to help a lot of people kind of understand the differences between. So could you, listen, okay, so when do you know to step up from the R series to the reference series? Like if you're a customer and you're kind of weighing both options, right? Like I could do the R series, I might be interested in the reference, but I don't really know when I should go from one series line to the other.
Okay, so first things first, 100%, go to a dealer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Get a demo. Go and you guys over in Atlanta, it's great showroom.
Thank you.
Been there, wonderful, it's fantastic. But the dealers are so important for this because you guys have the experience. You've got the products, you can guide them through. And this is the thing, look, should you buy a speaker of that price unsighted? Probably not.
It's a bold choice.
It is. But I mean, you want to touch, you want to feel, you want to hear. The pride of ownership in a loudspeaker product is not just in the sound.
Right.
It's in every single part, right? And so you will figure out during a well-done demo whether you need to step through because you will feel it different.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of talking about the law of diminishing returns because I think you can't put a number on experience.
No.
And if you're sat there and you just fall into it and the hairs start standing up and something transformative happens, then if you're getting that, if you get that with R series, fantastic. Then if you listen to the R series, then you feel that again, you're a reference customer. You need to go towards that because you felt that. It's going up, it's moving through, and you're capturing things that you may not experience going back. So it's just go and get a demo.
Yeah.
And you will have that answer presented to you.
Yeah.
Quite happily. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and go, yeah, if you're really into, if you want to hear like 2 kilohertz, way better. I ain't gonna sit here telling you that. Say you listen to something, you will know almost instantly whether you need to make that jump.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Do you have like a recommended demo track?
Ooh. Well, I have my demo tracks.
What is if you were demoing between the two, what would your go-to track be?
One I use a lot, and I use a lot of different tracks because different tracks will show you different things.
Yes.
One of the first tracks I will go to is a track called Seeker by the Hiromi Project.
It's a good track.
Hiromi Uehara, wonderful, like, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest living piano talent today. And this is a live in studio recording. And what I find the difference is, going from art to reference with this track for me, is her dynamic control of the instrument just comes through just so well. You're really hearing how she's playing from note to note. This is, I've always said about good hi-fi, it's not about listening to recordings, it's about experiencing performances. And once you start feeling you experience the performance, that's what I get with that track going from R to reference.
Yeah.
When Simon Phillips and Anthony Jackson comes in, drums and bass, respectively, I'm able to tell more about how they're positioned in the room. That sound staging comes. I'm getting more of a window into how this song has been performed. And that's the thing, that's what hi-fi should be about, in my opinion. These are people that I'm never going to meet.
Right.
It's unlikely I'm ever going to see them play, because I don't think they play together anymore. I want it to feel like I'm almost there. Yeah. And that's typically a track that I would use going through. But anything that you know well,
like inside and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you love Harry Belafonte live in Carnegie Hall, or if you've got recordings of yourself like in your garage playing awful Nirvana covers when you're like 14 years on, like a mini disc recorder.
Yes.
Like, if you know that inside out, because like you were there, right, when you did it, bring that in.
Definitely.
Listen to that.
Yeah.
Is it going to sound good? Probably not, but is it going to sound real?
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, that's super awesome. Like, I know for us at Modus, how we kind of have our showroom set up, we have our R7 metas next to our reference 3. So you can literally go from one set to the other and kind of like A/B test tracks, which is always really cool. And one of the things that we try to do is we encourage artists and musicians to play their own music. So we actually hosted a mixer a couple of weeks ago where we had artists come in, they played their favorite, or they played their tracks off of the blades of all things. Nice. And it was really cool just to see people's experience and their reactions to, like, oh man, like, I mean, I know I made this, but I've never heard it like that, right? And that kind of speaks to just how different, hi-fi can really be. Like, you're used to hearing things one way, and then when you get, like, better speakers that are clear with a better soundstage and imaging, it really just changes your entire experience.
Oh yeah, we had a very similar thing when I was in Hong Kong. We had this wonderful jazz. I ain't gonna name names. We had this wonderful jazz guitarist who was out from New York, and he listened to his new album like it hadn't been released yet. And he popped it on, and he was listening to it, and he's like, I don't remember doing that.
Oh.
In this cut, I don't remember doing that. And it's like, and he was just completely floored by it.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is phenomenal. This is amazing. Because they're recapturing moments.
They are.
And that's music is 7.5 billion different things to 7.5 billion different people.
It is.
I think with our speakers being tools that are able to kind of bridge that and sort of bring what was there through.
Yeah.
We're not saying this is how something should sound. This is how it sounded.
Yes.
Very, very different. Very nuanced difference. So yeah, anything that you know well, just go for it.
Yeah.
Say, don't worry about the quality of the recording. If in that case, if you know it well, you know it well.
There's no right or wrong. It's just what you know.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting close to the end. I saw that some questions had come in on Instagram. Did we get any on YouTube?
Yeah, I guess if you want to do the question on Instagram first.
Yeah. Okay, hang on, like 2 seconds, guys. Sorry. Hi, Instagram. I'm like all up in your personal space. Oh, thanks. Jesus said he loves you guys. listen to more gospel music. It's really clean and punchy. God bless. Thank you. And okay. Leonard said on both Bluetooth and hooked to speakers, the sound is just a little faint. Are you talking about our sound, or are we talking about the sound from speakers? I don't know, but we'll answer the YouTube questions while we get our response.
Only they have is tactile response is where it's at for home theater. It was a statement that somebody made, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add that. Shout out to Chris Hamilton, our friend Chris.
Hey, Chris.
And then the infamous Mark Kiffin asked, is the reference series available in custom colors?
Ooh.
Unfortunately not. The blades, however, are. So we will. Blades are available in custom colors. And reference, not at the moment. I'm not aware of any plans. So,
Shame.
sorry for the negative.
That's okay. We can't have everything.
Yeah, I don't make those decisions.
Yeah, that's the only thing we have. And then Sharon Kiffin said, happy, KEF birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
So definitely want to include that in there.
Like,
Oh,
Ben,
thank
you're
you.
getting lots of love.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
It was
it.
much different than our videos from last year talking about subwoofers, and we were getting a lot of flack in those comments on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, and people were calling us, oh, they're just salespeople. They're just trying to shyster you into buying multiple subwoofers. And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
no, it's not what we're doing. I'm trying to
No.
help you.
I mean, the whole multiple subs thing. So we may as well jump on this if we've got the time.
Yeah.
It's because like a single sub create, and you guys have heard this.
Yes.
Single sub, and this has got nothing to do with the quality of the subwoofer.
Mm-hmm.
It's purely just how low frequencies work in a room. You'll get peaks and dips
Right.
throughout the room. So when you're doing like the infamous subwoofer crawl, right? You're not choosing the best place for the sub. You're choosing the least worst, because there will always be a degree of compromise there.
Yeah.
When you go to a second sub, then the peaks of one starts to fill in the dips of the other, and vice versa, and starts to smooth it all out. So even at a single listening position, you're actually still going to get benefit.
Yeah.
But if you've got like a large listening position as well, like a theater where you've got multiple people, it's going to make it more consistent for everyone.
Yeah.
Which, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah.
There's only pure benefit for it. Like seriously, it's not a selling more subs to sell more subs thing. It's to make the experience better.
So I do have a question. Is there like a limit to how many subs? Like when
No.
do we reach too many? Like is 10 too many?
Depends on the room. 100% depends on the room.
Okay.
Depends on the room in terms of the size, in terms of the the room construction, and actually even the use of room. Like we were doing some bits yesterday about sort of like dual purpose rooms.
Yes.
And you've got to think of like the traffic coming through. Say, are you able to place multiple subs in various different places around the room? Would it work? Can you do so many? Maybe not. Then maybe you might consider like in-ceiling subs or in-wall subs to kind of like clear up the space a little bit.
Yeah.
But very, very room dependent in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
But next door, I think we're running 8 positions in there.
And it's a really like nice uniform kind of experience. Like you're not going to sit in one seat and then feel like, oh, I'm in a dead zone. Like I'm not getting any kind of bass. I'm catching only mids and highs. Like you're like, oh, I'm having a great experience in every seat.
Yeah. Everybody deserves great sound.
Yeah.
And whether that's just a fundamental thing or whether you're all together, everyone in that room deserves great sound.
Agreed.
That's something else came through. Active blades in the future.
Ooh.
I am not aware of plans. Sorry, that's a very dry answer. No, it's not something I'm aware of. It gets asked a lot, 100%. But yeah, they sound so great as passives. They really do. But yeah, could it happen in the future? I just don't know.
That's the last thing that popped up. Unless you have anything in the Insta world, but I don't have anything else
Yay. Well, if you guys want to watch a recap, like if you're just joining us on Instagram or just joining us on YouTube, we will have this on YouTube to watch in its entirety. So you can always start from start to finish and get all of the questions answered that we had about the new line of subwoofers and the difference between the R series and the reference series speakers. All right. Thank you guys for watching and joining us. Bye.